Well, R360, that was a huge story for the early part of this off-season. But now we hear that it is going to be delayed to 2028. Is the threat gone, Braith? Is it over? Can PVL calm down now and stop handing out 10-year bans?
The threat's not gone, but like...
For now.
For now. It's so interesting. Like, I know it was real because, the only time I've heard from Buzz this off-season was to see if Cameron had a meeting with R360 when he was on the tour, the Ashes. But yeah, I know for a fact it's real. Yeah. So it's there. But I think, R360, their biggest mistake was their timing. They've tried to start this global competition,
18 months out from a World Cup.
From a World Cup, right? So
none of the rugby players are jumping ship right now.
They're not, right? And these rugby players they are paid very good money and they travel the world anyway. So the advantages that rugby league players have and the carrot that gets dangled, travel around the world, tax-free dollars, all that sort of stuff, it's more appealing to us as a rugby league player than a rugby union player.
But we aren't making up the majority of the numbers in this competition.
Exactly.
We're sprinkling a couple of our big names. They are relying on rugby union
That's
stars
right. And what they've tried to do is, kind of land some big fish. And before they've got their business strategy, proposal, schedule, budget, probably whoever's financing it and the equity, whatever they're getting their capital, so wherever they're getting their coin from, are looking at this thinking, well, you've hardly signed anyone. You've got the World Cup here. The rugby league players aren't exactly jumping ship straight away. Everyone's put in regulations, rugby league and the rugby union, in terms of what happens to the players if they do go. So, it was just poor timing. But it is real. And I do think it'll be back in 2028 because it'll be better timing for them. But Peter V'landys has done a good job in the interim.
Yeah, I got some mail really early that unless there was legitimate document signed and there was a business plan put in place, just don't waste any time on it yet, because it was just, as you said, the logistics around trying to get it together in 18 months, given how big the landscape of it was going to need to be, was very optimistic. Tell me about Lomax. So does Lomax walk away from the Parramatta deal? And so has there been any financial upfront commitment from R360 for him to walk away, or has he just walked away on a whim, hoping?
Well, I heard a rumour that they'd signed like an agreement as such, but it was worth nothing, really.
So there's no so there was no.
I don't think you get. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know the intricate details around that because it's so sensitive. Lomax's manager is, he's wiped his hands with it, so no one's ever going to know what the agreement was or what they signed or whatever. But I've just. If there's
just in his prime.
If there were two players, though, before you get to that, if there were two players in my mind who would have signed with R360, it was Lomax and Pappenhausen. They're very eccentric guys. They do things their way, and they make that very known by the way that they kind of operate, right? So when I heard it was those two, because really you got to have balls to make that call, regardless of what you think of, Zach, because Pappenhausen hasn't been confirmed as being a deal there, or if he's going there or not, whereas Zach sort of was, right? But take that all away, it's a huge risk. And
it's 2.5 years away now from if it happens.
Yeah.
So
That's
for
a long
Zach,
time.
what does he do?
And he's in his prime. Like he's walked away from a deal at the Dragons where he wanted to play centre.
Crazy, eh?
Went to Parramatta, had a small window of the season at centre, went back to the wing where he's playing his best footy. He's at the right age. He's playing representative footy. He was...
But is it done? Do you see a world where he changes it now that the goalposts have completely shifted?
I honestly believe he'll be back playing.
NRL?
Yeah, I think he'll be back playing. That's my gut feeling. I feel like he'll be back. Now, the only hurdle around it is is the legalities around him at Parramatta and not being allowed to play for anyone other than Parramatta for the next few seasons.
But they've said that they'd have to get compensation if he did go somewhere else.
Which I think will happen. And
I think if you put if you just say put manager's hat on for right now, it's either he goes back to league, which is to swallow that, put your ego aside and swallow that pill that, and go play it for another team. That's a big possibility, but there's opportunities. If he wants to go to R360, he wants to possibly play for Australia in the World Cup. He can play for any of the teams here, and I'm sure they'll take him, although it's on a lot less dollars. or he can go over to and play in France, or he can play in Japan and earn just as much.
Get a bit of rugby under his belt before he plays.
That's right. That's right. And
R360.
that would be what they'd be weighing up right now, is what path they do take. Where does he want to land? In terms of money, if he stays and plays here in rugby, he's not going to earn nowhere near as much money. If he goes over there, he'll be fine. But, you know, it's you know, for him, again, I'm just giving people perspective, you know, watching or listening, is that, you know, he would have home loans. He would have like
the money you earn in Super Rugby is nowhere near what he would be earning at Para.
It isn't.
And
at his age, like we all know, like even though you're earning good money, you're paying off property, or you've got expectations and deliverables, and you can't be getting paid nothing or a lot less than what you're on. So a lot of that will be driven by his next decision.
It sounds like Pappenhausen he's putting it out there that he's just not going to be playing anywhere this coming year. 2026, he's made the call. I won't be anywhere, but it sounds like beyond that, it's still a possibility he'll end up back in rugby.
I reckon anything's possible with Paps. He's that type of guy, you know.
Yeah.
I really do. And like it's if Perth, like if you're Perth, or you know, like or even if you're the NRL clubs, you are jumping down at getting Ryan Pappenhausen. Like you really are. But then, does he want to have the year off to kind of the rumours, get his mental health right and reset and take care of his well-being and do other ventures, maybe business ventures, who knows? But he can do what he wants.
Yep. I feel like Malmeniga, that's a no-brainer. If you're looking for someone,
he's one you'd
a big name,
trying to sign.
he could be a face for sure for Western Australian Rugby League.